Welcome. Congratulations to our new scholars, those who have been awarded the PTDF scholarship. We're looking forward to seeing you. Some of you have already resumed and you are here on campus. Welcome. We hope you have a good treatment. Your go-to guys are Mayowa and Edet. They are very much on ground, and both of Edet is staying in Leonard Honor Hall, while Mayowa is in Lord Home. So they are all on the group. You can reach out to them to find your way around campus. For those of you who are still in Nigeria, I'll be resuming sometime this year or in subsequent intakes. We'll be looking forward to seeing you. The session we are about to have now is not a session that any of us benefited from, but we hope that you will benefit from this one and subsequently you will have a better chance at performing than having a better performance than we had because of this level of orientation that you are currently having at the moment. So congratulations once again, and you're welcome. Ethical practice, referencing, and the use of AI tools in student research. We have quite a lot of work to do. So I've joined this meeting on multiple devices so I can check everything happening. So even because since we have quite a lot to cover, I'll try and be as fast as possible but trying as much as I can so you get the message. So I'm actively looking at the chat. So if you have any question at any point in time, please just put it down in the chat section and I'll read it. So my name is Ammo Shagba Hyacinth, aka Ash of Edinburgh. I am a title I got because I won a eating competition here, a swallow eating competition. I'm a 2023 PTDF scholar, and thank you all for joining this workshop. So the context of this entire workshop is that you have been given the Petroleum Technology Development Fund scholarship. Your study destination is United Kingdom, and you have chosen Herotworth University as your school. I wish to first of all start by disabusing your mind that for most of you who will think that there's a popular opinion that you can do badly, even for those who perform badly in Nigerian universities for one reason or another. When they come to the UK, they have a smooth sail and graduate with very good results. I don't know how your orientation of their approach is, but if your approach to it is that you will come and there won't be much of work to do, because I know quite a number of you, more than 80% of you guys have first class degrees or second class upper degrees. Do not come to Herotworth with that mindset because you'll be disappointed. And by the time you wake up from your slumber, it will already be late because you'll be far away from getting your distinction. Herotworth is a very tough and rigorous institution, academically tough and rigorous. They will drill you and you have to put in the work. If you had settled for less schools like Bradford and the rest, or maybe University of Southwest Scotland, or any of those other schools, of course, you have a smooth sail, or maybe Napier University. You just do coursework and that is it. But in Herotworth, contrary to what you might have been told, you have a mix of coursework. And in bracket, I wrote overdose because there is actually an overdose of that. For almost every course you are doing, you have at least one coursework to write and submit. Remember that you are doing 4 courses in the first semester, 4 courses in the second semester, and then the last semester is your dissertation. Now you may think that, oh, in Nigeria you did over 12 or 8 courses in one semester and it was a smooth sail. These 4 courses, you would not want to underrate them because they are packed full. And some of those courses you have exams, and these exams is a maximum of 2 hours. There is no exam you write in Heriot that will be more than 2 hours. You have only 2 hours. No matter how mathematically or calculational based it is, no matter how much you have to write, no matter the number of questions you have to answer, is a maximum of 2 hours and nothing less or more. You have a lot of group projects. Now, the group projects, I titled them the devil's thread. Why? Because you are put in groups with people from different backgrounds. The fear of Indians in your group is the beginning of wisdom. Once you find those Indian guys in your group, just know you are in for it. And they come here, and sometimes you ask yourself, what did they really come here to do? So when they are members of your group, a very few of them can be exceptional, but the rest of them are a bunch of the same stock. And when they're in your group, they hardly do anything. And by the time you fold your hands and watch that, okay, she not the same degree carry us come. If you not work, I will not work. You are digging your pit. It will be your downfall. So please, when you are part of a group, just be very careful and watch out for that. If there's a way you can lobby or request for certain privileges, if you are made part of a group that you do not like, you are free to call it out and say you do not like this group. And maybe you prefer to do it alone if the lecturer accepts, or you join another group, or yeah, you can pre-select and then become part of a group. Presentations, I'll classify them as a political campaign because that is where you have to put in your best to get the marks that are accorded to that. Now you have the continuous assessment here are more common than what you have in Nigeria. In Nigeria, you simply write tests which give you 30 marks, and then you go in for the exams which gives you 70 marks. Here, you have different forms of assessments. It could be debates, coursework, as earlier mentioned, examinations and presentations, or group projects. They all go in for it. And remember, in group projects, you have peer review at the end of the day. So be very careful when you are part of a group, because at the end of the day, there will be a review, and every group member has to assign mark to other group members based on the level of participation. So even when you are part of a group and your group members do not work well, try for your own sake to ensure that you give them all high marks, just so that you also have a good mark at the end of the day. Independent research and critical thinking is highly valued over here. They want you to think for yourself, show them you have the capacity to think and carry out independent work. It's very important. So this is the kind of environment you are coming into, and that builds the context of what we have to talk about today. Ultimately, your goal is to graduate with a distinction. A distinction is an average of 70 marks and above here at Heriot-Watt. You have the merit, which falls between 60 to 69% of your average, and 50 to 59% makes up your pass, and 40 to 49, and from 49 below, you have a fail, and that will mean you have to resit, depending on the courses you have. So over here, if you fail a course, you have to come back and rewrite it, except if you have circumstances which prevented you from performing well. And when you have such circumstances, there has to be evidence to back it up. And that is where there is what they call mitigating circumstances here. So if you are ill and require treatment, and you visit the general practice or the university health center, and there is evidence of that to track, if there is need for you to put in for mitigating circumstances, then the medical doctor has to write and put it in suggestion that this student should be allowed some level of leverage when in consideration for examination or such purposes. So in that case, when the evidence for your mitigating circumstances is accepted, then you can be favorably considered even when you perform poorly in such an examination. So if you resume late and all of those things, you have to put in for mitigating circumstances. Now, compared to Nigeria, the grading here is stricter. In Nigeria, remember that you had the grade point average, where depending on the number of credit units, 3, 4, 5, 2, 1, as the case may be, the You had grade A, B, C, A, 5 marks, B, 4, C, 3 marks, D, like that all the way down to the fail. So once you had a mark, once you have an A, it is, if it's a 3 credit unit, it is 3 multiplied by 5 in that order. I'm sure you're all familiar with calculating the grade point average. That made it easier for you to come out with a first class CGPA or a second class upper or 2-2. Over here, the case is different. If in course A, you have 70 marks, course B, you have 60, course C, you have 50, and course D, you have 40, which stands to represent the 4 courses you are doing in a semester. Your average is actually 70 plus 60 plus 50 plus 40 divided by 4. That is your average. So that makes it more difficult for you to actually pass. So over here, you're not just looking at getting a 70 as an A and being okay with that. No. If you can get 99, ensure you get it. If you can get 100, ensure you get it. Don't just settle for, oh, it's 70 and above, then you have an A. No. Ensure it is as high as much as possible to secure your distinction at the end of the day. Now, ethical practice, like every trade or everything one is going into, there are rules that people have to observe, some way of behaving. And contrary to what you find obtainable in Nigeria, there are things that are held here in very high esteem. Honesty and originality in student work, very key. You will get to see how they regulate and ensure that there is honesty and originality in your work. So you have to come in with a mindset that you have to be honest in your academic work and it has to be original as much as possible. Even when you are doing it as a group work, there has to be that level of independence and inputs that is coming in from you. And one of those other core areas is avoiding plagiarism and misconduct. Plagiarism avoidance in Nigeria is a highly played around with concept, but you don't really get to see how important it is until you get here. And in Nigeria, plagiarism comes into the picture when you are doing your final year project. That is where they often consider it. If you submit assignments, normal coursework in Nigeria, nobody checks it for plagiarism or anything. And even if your lecturer catch you copying in a test, nobody takes you to any disciplinary committee. You don't face any panel for that. Over here, your usual coursework, the normal coursework you have as a continuous assessment, take home, write this essay, and submit. If the plagiarism score is high, you are going in for it. So it's not a final project that the attention is paid upon. No, the usual and normal classroom work with a plagiarism that is high puts you in trouble. Likewise, considered misconduct. There is the rule of responsible collaboration and authorship. Means even if you have to collaborate, your own input has to be original and unique to your person. You don't just go and take in everything that the other person is doing and more like there is a replication. What you have is exactly what the other person has. If you are submitting such as an essay, it will be difficult to say the first person who submits is going to have the original work and this other person's own is going to be plagiarized by the other person's own. At the end of the day, the two of you are going in to face the panel. So responsible collaboration and authorship. Then you have to respect the university policies on integrity. You have to just respect it. And there are so many documents, binding documents. When you have access to the platform where your coursework is, the online learning platform, Canvas, for every course, there's a lot of information about what is expected of you in terms of integrity, originality, and responsible authorship of the work. You do well to read and familiarize yourself with it, with that. Once you have that information for one course, it applies to every other. One of the first things we are going to address is referencing. I'm sure everybody here has undergone the process of writing projects. Though I cannot confidently say that it is all of you that wrote your project by yourself, but I know everybody here has an undergraduate project. If you wrote your project by yourself, congratulations. If you didn't write it by yourself, congratulations, you are still here. Now, one of the key things when that happened during you writing your project was referencing. From the introduction of your work through to literature review, your materials and methods or methodology section didn't really have much, except for those who were, well, even for those in the social sciences and humanities, you didn't have much of that. Chapter 4, results and discussion, you really didn't have much of referencing under presentation of your results, but under discussion, you had to go back and extract some information from your literature review to compare with the results you have found so as to give the proper reasoning and backup to why your results are the way they are. And that's what the discussion section is all about. You need little or no references when it comes to your conclusion and recommendations. So as you practically did it, this is just to let you know that when you tell your reader in any piece of academic writing where you got a particular information from, that is simply what referencing is all about. And there are two categories of literatures where you get references from. You have academic literature and you have degree literature. Academic literature pass through peer review. Peer review is where you have at least two persons who are authorities in that field go through your work. They go through your work, through that academic writing you have done, and see if it matches the standard or if what you say is verifiable, how true it is what you have presented. Does it follow the rules of academic writing? Does it follow the rules of standard research? Did you present your results in the way it should be presented, and all of those things? Slight differences because guide to authors from different journal bodies makes it different, but at the end of the day, it's still one central approach to it. So when it passes through peer review, it's academic literature. Example, you have journal, papers, and books, and some of those. When the grade literature does not pass through peer review, and that is why for some of you, PTDF is a bit lenient because what some of you presented as publications when making your application were not really academic publications. Because if you made your if it was a conference paper, maybe from any of these professional bodies in Nigeria, and you submitted a paper in one of those conferences, if it didn't pass through peer review, of which 90% of those conferences do not pass, none of the papers presented or that come out in their conference proceedings goes through peer review, it is great literature. So when you come out here, you begin to realize that all those conference papers you presented don't matter. They don't count. They don't count at all because they were not peer reviewed. Government or legal publications are not peer reviewed. Images, performances, videos are not. Computer code are not. Statistics and data, a good number of those are not. But at the same time, when you make use of those information from there in your work, you have the legal responsibility of telling your reader where you got that information from. Now, referencing is important because citing sources is a requirement of your program. When you look at what is required of your course, you would see for most courses, here it's a very open system. In Nigeria, it's like your lecturers test you or they plan for you to fail in their assessment. Over here, it's a bit different. The approach and orientation is to actually see how well you have learned. So the war zone approach to academics in Nigeria, where you don't know the move of the lecturer until you see the test or the exams, just so that you will fail, over here is different. The objectives of the course, what they want you to learn, is stated from the beginning of the course. How you are going to be assessed is stated in the course. How you are going to be marked and what is expected of you in that particular coursework, the major content, the major structure they want to see, and how they are going to assess you based on the content of your work is spelled out for you. And one of those things you always see is referencing, citing, using the right citation or referencing method. You are being marked on that. You will see that on one of the slides as I made a picture of that from one of my courseworks. Uh, Correct referencing and presentation may comprise up to 10% of your final grade, because in every writing exercise you have to do, and even in presentations, there are always marks awarded for you referencing information. If you got a picture from somewhere, state the source of that picture. If you got a video from somewhere, state the source of that video. If you use the song, reference that song. If you anywhere you got an information from, put it down. Eh, how a lot of you did referencing is you just copy and paste, and then you reference so many people, and yes, that is fine. But over here, it's not all about George said this, Amarachi said this, Virginia said this, Samuel said this. No, it's not all about they said, they said, they said. They are expecting you to understand what they did, the implication of their works, and how the works connect. So it's as good as you stating that let's do that in the next example. Referencing affords your work academic credibility, evidencing your findings and recommendations for practice, because it not only helps you in just getting the marks, but when you reference properly, it means you have verified the source of that information before presenting it and you understand it. That gives your work a better appeal and embodiment at the end of the day. It puts more credibility to the work you are doing and more depth to your research. And referencing also helps you to prevent accusations of plagiarism and allowing others to locate your sources. Reproducibility, your ability for someone else to verify that what you are doing is correct or what you are saying is correct, is that the person can pick up your work and go through the references to see these viewpoints this person has presented in this work. Are they really what they say? Are they really what the person has said it is? So the person can go through your references and see if truly the point you are presenting is a true understanding of what those works stand to represent. Now, this is referencing in practice. This is a very short story of a lady who wanted to invent a machine that could fry akara without oil. And she told everyone, I will reduce cholesterol in Nigeria by force. And this is just to show you referencing in practice. Now, if you look at the very first reference, which is highlighted here, Okafor 2021, this is known as this is non-integral referencing or passive referencing. Why? Because the reference is not a component of the statement. So that makes it non-integral. The statement, the entire statement ends before you put it in bracket. So it's a non-integral component. Meanwhile, when you have the second paragraph and statement number 2 on the second paragraph, according to her neighbor Babatunde, this is not Akara. This is betrayal, as quoted in Adeyemi 2020. That is an integral reference or an active reference. Why? Because it is a component of the statement. If you take it out of the statement is incomplete. So when doing referencing or when engaging in academic writing, you are expected to have a blend of both the integral and the non-integral. That shows creativity. That shows your level of understanding and how you are able to play around with it. And these two make up in-text citations. If you apply just one of these, maybe, and the one most persons do as fresh writers is to use the non-integral, which is Okafor, highlighted in yellow. That is the one they basically make use of. Now, anybody reading your work and seeing only that form of referencing knows that you really didn't do much of a good work and you have no real understanding of what you're talking about. But when you begin to make sentences that either show comparison or contrast between the ideas and understanding of what you have done, then yeah, that makes it integral and you have a better show of your creativity and input in the work. So there is a rule. Did I write that here? There is a rule. There is a rule that I think I left it out. There's a rule that all cited references must be listed and all listed references must be cited. Now, is there anybody who is seeing my screen well enough to tell me how many cited references we have and how many listed references we have? How many are cited and how many are listed? Are you people able to see my screen well enough to count the number of in-text citations and the number of citations that make up my reference list? All cited, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Who no count where? In-text citations, 5 each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. A reference. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are actually 6 references, 6 cited references. Oka for 2021 is the first one. In front of the Akara is another reference, 1. Now this is to show you different citation styles. This is to show you different citation styles. Oka for 2021 is 1. Akara in front of number 1, 1 in brackets. 1 in bracket is another one, that's 2. Adeyemi, that's 3. Ogunleye, that's 4. Adebayo, that's 5. Easy 2023, that's 6. So you have 6 of them. There's a difference between Easy 2023 and reference number 1. Easy 2023, page 102, is a bit different. Well, I think I was thinking too much and I left it out. I intentionally wanted to create a difference between them. But then, thank you for participating. It shows you are all following. Good. Now, you in Nigeria, and how most of you have done it, except for a few persons who were privileged to have lecturers who had schooled abroad or were exceptionally good to introduce you to softwares that were able to do this. If not, if you had OCA for 2021, you are going to write it out somewhere or copy Okafor's reference and put somewhere. If it was then you went to Adeyemi, you copy it and put somewhere. Then you come to Ogunleye, you copy it and put somewhere. Adebayo, copy it and put somewhere. So sometimes when you finish writing your entire work, it will take you about 2 additional days to go and ensure that all the references you cited are equal to the references you have listed. And that was quite some work. And aside ensuring that the two are equal, you now have to be sure that you follow the right order. The most used in Nigeria was the upper style, where you have the the author's name. Yeah, I don't need to. You can see it reference. You see the upper style, the American Psychological Association style. So you had to ensure that the order was in the correct order, the numbering. We had lecturers who were very critical. They will mark you down to even the full stop and the comma and the colon and the semicolon. If your full stop is not there or the comma is not there, you are going. You are gone. They will mark it down. You have to go and do the correct thing. If you do not put it in italics, you don't put the right bracket, you are gone. So sometimes you would finish an entire work. The lecturer will go through, mark your in-text citations, further go down to your lists and mark as well. The one in bracket is a different citation style. That is IEEE. IEEE, where you have it down here. If you look at the references, if you come down to IEEE, you are going to see JAZ, cyanization of legume-based products and emerging culinary pathway. That is IEEE. Now, when you did your references in Nigeria, if at the end of the day they ask you, oh, sorry, the referencing style I gave you, which is upper style, is not the correct one. I need you to change it to Harvard. You would spend 2 extra days going back to change the format because you are doing it manually. But over here, there are systems or management softwares, referencing management softwares that enable you to do this. And all you need to do is use those referencing management, install them, and they're automatically linked to your Microsoft Word. And from there, you have the ability to import your references in text, and they automatically generate the bibliography or your list of references for you. That ensuring that all listed references are cited and all cited references are listed, and you have the correct formatting of that referencing style. And with just the click of buttons away, you can switch from one style to another. Now, the reference management tools, they capture your source as you find them on the internet, and they help you to organize and save your sources. They help you to insert citations in your written work, and they create a bibliography at the end of the work. I've explained that. Now, what are your options? You have reference generators, which are free and online, and some of you would have already been making use of them. Zetero Beep, it is free, fast. My Beep, a lot of persons use that as well. I won't pay much attention to that. Referencing the reference management softwares that are very much in use, we have Zetero, Zetero is free open source software. It's online. It means you can go to Zetero site right now, download it to your PC, and it's going to work just immediately. Sorry guys, just a moment. Sorry, as I was saying, Zetero is free. You can download and use. Mendeley is also free. But here in Heriot University, they prioritize the use of EndNote, and that's why we are going to be paying attention to the use of EndNotes. EndNote, it gives you options for adding references, online search within EndNote, export references from database such as Discovery, Google Scholar, drag and drop PDFs into EndNote, EndNote click, EndNote references manually. So before I get into this other part, let me just leave this environment for now and open a Word document. So if you have all downloaded your your EndNote and successfully installed it, please, I'd like to know in the chat section who who was not able to download and install EndNote. Just signify it so I know. If you are not able to successfully download and install, let me know. No comment. It means you all were able to download and install. Congratulations. Now, the product key wasn't working. The product key is working. I can assure you that. Yeah, you have two versions there. If you look at the group chat, two versions. You have 2025 with its product key, and the first product key that was given was for 2021. So if you use the product key for 2021 for 2025, it's not going to work. You have to use the right product key for the right version, then it will work. And then that may be because of check your issues. I was someone this afternoon, Emanuela. For some of you, you downloaded it, it's installed successfully, but you still cannot find it in Microsoft Word. Now, this is how you do it. I'm going to show, let me see, is this screen wide enough for everybody to see? Yes, so you go to File. If you downloaded it successfully, but it's not working, you go to File. You go to File, come down to Options. If you come down to Options, you go to Advanced. Click on Advanced. Sorry. Sorry. If you come to Options, click on Options. Let me start again. You go to File, then go to Options, click on Add-ins. If you click on Add-ins, you come down to Manage Com Add-ins. You click on it. Where is it going to? You click on Go, then you simply have to come here and highlight. You will see EndNote Cite while you write. EndNote Cite while you write. Tick it good, and click OK. Then it automatically set in. But while doing this, ensure you close all Microsoft packages. Close all Microsoft packages, especially the writing ones. Publisher, PowerPoint, Excel, Word. Close them before you go through for the other ones. So when you click on EndNote Cite it right, click OK, it should automatically pop up. And for you to, will this work? No. If you come to your menu bar here, you see Home Insert. The EndNotes will automatically be added to it. So I'm still using version 21 on this PC. So you see EndNote 21 here. You see I have both EndNote 21 and Zotero. This is to show you that you can have more than one referencing management tool on your PC. They will work well and they are not going to interfere with each other. It means you can have Zotero, you can have EndNote, you can have Mendeley, all three of them in your PC. And depending on the one you want to use for any work, the two are not going to interfere with the functioning of any other. So if you have this, simply click on EndNote, go and click on EndNote, just like you will click on Home to display the home facilities. Click on EndNote. If you click on EndNote, click on EndNote, one of the first places you go, you have insert citation, go to EndNote and all of those things. I will advise you click on go to EndNote. So because I have been using EndNote to write, I have a whole list of all my references here, about 310 of them. You have all of them here. In your own case, if you click and this is showing on your side, what you are going to have is going to be blank. It's going to be blank entirely. If there are any issues as I'm making this presentation, please let me know. But if yours is installed successfully, then this should be what you should see. And in case you are having a hard time because maybe you are using your PC to join this meeting and then you're unable to see, the Microsoft Teams meeting allows you to add more than one device. Currently, I'm on 3 different devices, 2 PCs and my phone. So you can add your phone, you can open Microsoft Teams on your phone and add the call to it and be watching the presentation on one device while you are practicalizing on the other device. Set up EndNote library. Yes, if you're opening it for the first time, it will ask you to create a library. Yes, create a new library and just name it anything. If you have successfully downloaded EndNotes and you are yet to get it functioning on your Microsoft Word, click on File, go to Options, then click on Add-ins, come to COM add-ins, click on Go, then you are going to see the EndNote site while you write here. Click on it and click on OK. And that should take you there. If you are done, just click on Go to EndNote and you have the EndNote background open to you. I think it's been recorded. I'm not sure at the moment, but I think it's been recorded. Yes, it's been recorded. Now, one of the first things I talked about when you saw it here is that online search within EndNote. For online search within EndNote, look at the last place here. It shows you online search. Online search here, it gives you some strong academic literature search engines. You have JSIC Library Hub Discovery, you have Library of Congress, you have PubMed, you have Web of Science. So let's say you want to search on Web of Science. By the time you click on Web of Science, this is as good as, for some of you, you may want to go and make use of Google Scholar or go to your general browser to search for references and all. But let's say I'm writing on climate change and instead of going the other route, you search for those items within your browser here. You see the first thing is author, gives you a particular order of it. You have year limiter, you have title. I can simply come down to the title here. And let's say I want to research on my paper or my assessment is on climate change in Africa. And maybe I just type in the keyword climate change. I type Africa. The next you click on search. What happen? Let's try. Let's try another one. So Web of Science didn't work. Web of Science didn't work. As you saw earlier, I went to PubMed NLM and I typed climate. I made use of the keywords. Keywords, for those of you who may be hearing, you must have been seeing keywords in journals, but you may not understand practically what keywords are. I give you a very funny example that you can relate with, but that will help you. The ladies already know this, but guys, let's say you're on WhatsApp, your girlfriend or your wife picks up your WhatsApp and wants to find out if you potentially have something to do with another man or woman. She goes to the search button of your WhatsApp and decides to type baby. Baby, and clicks on baby, types baby and clicks on the search button. Automatically, for everywhere on your WhatsApp, that baby has appeared, either written by you or sent to you. It will pop up. That's a keyword. It's a keyword that shows the potential of a romantic conversation between you and someone by name calling. The person will type my love, and anything concerning my love, either typed by you by another person in any of the conversations or messages that has been sent to you or by you to another person, it pops up. And through those keywords, within the shortest time possible, in less than 2 minutes, your partner is able to produce who has called you baby or who you have called baby or my love. Now, the same concept applies to academic literature, where if you have a particular concept, and if you're talking about climate change, for instance, you type in climate, like let's say the topic of our work here, we're dealing with ethical practice referencing use of AI. If you type ethical practice referencing AI, any works that has a combination of these keywords either in parts or in whole will pop up. And so that is how as you use academic keywords in finding out things on WhatsApp, so you use keywords in your search engines to get easy and ready information about publications. So if Web of Science doesn't work, it's not a problem. Try PubMed or any of the other Library of Congress. But here, climate change, Africa, you have a list of options here. If you click on any of these options, like I've clicked on the first one, you see by your right hand side, it shows you the full title of the work, How Climate Change is Threatening Africa by Supercharging Rift Valley Fever. You see the name of the author. You see the BMJ 2025 and all of those things. You see information about it. And it also tells you the style in which it is currently being referenced. Maybe this is, and the year of publication is 2025. The beauty of the beauty of the beauty of these the beauty of this feedback from here is that it is recent. And when you are doing academic writing, you cannot be writing about something in 2025 and you are making reference to something that is older than 10 years. For some, as you would come to experience over here in some particular courses and all, they specifically tell you your references should not be older than 5 years, or they should not be older than 10 years. And when you go to your general search engine, Google, to search, there is no filtration system. So you could get things as old as in the 1990s or 1980s, all of them show up. But when you use the embedded search engine in your EndNote, it gives you the most recent publications in that field. And you can now play around. See, they are all 2025. All 2025. Just this is 2024. Few 2024. Most of them are 2025. This shows you your retrieve results 25. You could update to get about 50 of them and all of that. You could increase it to 100, you can increase it to 426. And then if you click on any, now, annotated. Now, here is a paper by Tinsley, and the annotation, it has a very good annotation. So the annotation gives me the summary of the paper. So in case you are wondering, okay, for most of these other search engines, when you go, you are able to see at least the abstract of the paper to know if it aligns with what you are going to write. Yeah, so here you also get to see it and you see a brief overview of the entire paper, and then you get to see if it aligns with what you are writing, and then you can proceed. How to add it? You see above this point where you have searching PubMed, you have this plus sign. If I add, once you go and hover your mouse around the plus sign, it says add the selected online records to your local library. You press on plus. Once you press on plus, they're automatically being added to your local library. You can click on the above here to have all of them highlighted, or you can just go through them one after the other to see. And they are all journal articles, peer-reviewed journal articles, not all journal papers. You see, if a particular paper has 0 citation and you are the first person to go and cite such a paper, you definitely know that there is something wrong, because it was a credible finding, a credible piece of writing in a credible journal, then it should have more than one publication and it should have more than one reference. It could not be that you are the first person since it was published. Sometimes it was published 2-3 years ago, and you happen to in that particular year be the first person to want to go and reference it. It means something is wrong somewhere. Either there is a mushroom journal house that published that, or the person didn't do a good job or something. But this, what information you have from here is credible publications, and they would definitely would have had a lot of references. You'll not be the first person to reference them. Remember that some of these assessments you write, even your lecturers already know that you cannot write a particular paper without having some key authors make inputs in the work you are writing. If the authors are not seen, they know something is wrong somewhere. You didn't do a good job. If you do a good job, you should know those authors because of their level of contribution in that field. I won't dwell much on that. I've just shown you that export references from database, discovery, Google Scholar, and all of that. If you go to Chrome, if you just open any of your browser, let's say Google Scholar, and let's say Google Scholar, let's say climate change in Africa. See climate change in Africa. Now, you look at if you are able to see, I think you should be able to increase the size of this. Good. Now, you will be able to see that you have climate change and Africa. You come down, you see save, you see cite, you see cited by. This is an example of a very reputable work. Now, this work has been cited by 846 persons. You have related articles and all of that. But at the same time, does it allow us to export directly to EndNote? It should. Did that option disappear? Okay, yes, it disappeared. Okay, I've brought it back to the right resolution now. So you see, save site, all versions, import into EndNote. Import into EndNote. Now, it's not all the time. You may go to your browser and you may not be seeing import into EndNote. Where is? You may not be seeing export into EndNote. So, by the side of your Google Scholar, you have 3 horizontal lines to your left-hand side. Click on the 3 horizontal lines and then come down to the settings. So, if you come down to the settings, once you click on the settings, you see collections, results per page. You can increase the number of results per page. I have 10, you could increase it to 20. I'll leave mine at 10. Now, you see Bibliography Manager. So if you have successfully installed EndNote and it is working, you come to this bibliography manager, show links to import citations into, you have RefMan, RefWorks, EndNotes, BibTeX. You are dealing with EndNotes, so you click on EndNotes. Once you click on EndNotes and click on Save, it is automatically saved. Now, once you do that, if you come back to your options here, to your results here on the Google Scholar page, you are going to see import into EndNotes. And let's say I go for the second one, adapting to climate change in Africa. TE Downing, I click on import into EndNotes. Where is it going? Scholar. You click on save, and whatever is downloaded automatically goes into your EndNotes. And here you have it. Downing, Thomas E. I click on it and the information appears here. I'm sure you all are following. Is there anybody lost? It doesn't see reference. Unknown user. I don't know what you mean by it doesn't see reference. Which one is it doesn't see reference? What happened? I'm sure you all are following. Okay, you have sorted it out. Great. So on this slide, what have we done? We have done the first one, online search within EndNotes, export references from databases, Discovery, Google, Google Scholar. Okay. Let's so we have done that. We have been able to import into EndNote. Let's see. Now, there's also another option here, which is cite. You have export into EndNote. It just makes it easier to just click on export into EndNote and it goes. There's another one here. Go to all references. You should find it under all references. If check, go to downloads. It must have been under your downloads. Go to your browser downloads or the general downloads on your PC and then double click on it. It should automatically move and be saved in your EndNotes. If it does not, if you don't see it, go to under all references and you should see it. It should appear under all references. Now, another option here is to look at cite. If you click on cite, it gives you the various citation styles, MLA, APA, Chicago, Harvard, Vancouver. It comes down here, gives you BibTeX, EndNotes, RefMain, RefWorks. Since we have saved this one, let's go to another person's work. Let's go to another person's work. Let's do this one. This one is a book. Let's do a journal. I don't want book. Impact of climate change in Africa. So let's click on cite here. And then we click on EndNote. It allows you to save EndNote import file. You click on save. It's automatically downloaded. You double click on it. What's happening? It's automatically saved here. When you go to your EndNotes, you see it. So you all can try it. That's just another way. Something else I needed to show you. Well, let's go back here. Let's go back here. Now, this is on Google Scholar. I know a lot of you be asking, what if we go to other places? Let's go to Springer. Let's click on this work and go to accept all cookies. Now this is Springer Nature Link. This is Springer Nature Link, and you have this is the website where you find it. Where is it? You have cite this article. Why? Go back first. You click, it brings you here. Now you have cite this article. It is always hidden somewhere. Click on the article and click on the title of the article and it takes you to where it is hosted. Now you have cite this article. You have cite this article. You click on cite this article. And once you click on cite this article, it brings you here. It brings you to another platform. Others may not take you to a special page where you have to, or to a special section where you have to do this, but Springer has its own method. So it brings you here. And you have citation, download citation. So by the time you click on download citation, it allows you to download it. Now, since we have been doing other ones, we have not downloaded something in this format. If you look at the file type, save as type, in other ones, it was showing us export to EndNote. This one is showing us research information systems document. You click on save, it's automatically saved. You go and double click on it. It shows you importing. And then by the time you go to your EndNote, you see it there. You see it there. So by the time we go to all references, you will see that there's a duplication. So you have Downing 1, you have Downing 2, because we have saved it through different methods, but to the same place. So if we save it 10 times, it's still going to be here. How do we remove duplications? Tools. How do we remove duplications? So you come to, if you go to the EndNote environment, you go to library, you find duplicates. If you click on find duplicates, it will tell you to keep this reference. So anyone you decide to keep is kept. The one you do not click on keep is automatically discarded. If you want to keep both of them, just cancel and all. So I can do, and you know which one you downloaded first. This is 367, this is 369. So I'll keep the earlier version or keep the newer version, whichever is depending. If you do keep this one, the other one is automatically downloaded. So once you say find duplicates, it goes and finds all the duplicates for particular entries you did. But our concentration was on, oh, we didn't even do Downing. We did another one. But let's say you can see this one, Chapoterara, whatever the name is, you all can see it. Let's go back to duplicates and let's do keep this one. It still shows another one. Keep this one. Still shows us another one. We keep one. And Downing, we keep one. We cancel at this point. We go back to all references. And if you come down to Downing here, where we had 2, we have just 1 left at this point in time. So that is it. You can also remove duplicates at any point in time that you want to. Let's go back. Let's do a general search. Let's do a general search. So I take you to Elsevier. Impact of climate change in Africa. So let's go to somewhere like Elsevier, Science Direct. So this is a paper in Science Direct. Now Science Direct has its own display where, take for instance, I'm sure you all can see the screen. I've made it very big. Search institution library. Let's not go there first. So you see, add to Mendeley. Mendeley is another software, but we're not using that one. Just wait, we'll come back to that. You add to Mendeley. If you have Mendeley, you just click here, it's added directly. You have share. Yes, click on keep reference. The one you click on keep is kept. The other one you didn't click on the keep is automatically deleted. So if you click on cite, it says save to RefWorks, export citation to RIS, export citation to BibTeX, export citation to text. Now the one you click on is export citation to RIS. Remember, the last download we had was for research information systems document, and that is the type that is compatible with EndNote. So you do export citation to RIS. If you click on it, you see, save as type research information systems document, and then you are able to save it. Double click on where it is downloaded, and it is automatically added to your work with the annotation showing down here to give information about it. Another way, we have done export references. Now something is left, discovery. I haven't showed you guys discovery. So search institution library. If I click on search institution library, it brings me to a particular environment here. Now, on this environment, what you can see here is Heriot-Watt University, and this is discovery. Now, this is the digital information or digital library of the institution. So for some of you who will be doing researches and you don't have access to some certain papers for one reason or the other, you are able to search for papers here and books here that you may not find in any other search engine, and they are made available to you. So the discovery is the online library of the institution where you can get various documents. So if you look at this, you have export BibTeX, EndNote desktop RIS, EndNote online. So another thing is this, you have EndNote, the one installed on your system is the desktop version. You also have the EndNote online version. If you go to your normal EndNote, if you go to the help section, you come to EndNote online. If you click on EndNote online, it automatically takes you to a place where you are able to register. But ensure you have your school email, you register with your school email and all of that. So for a good number of you, I will say wait till you get here before you do the online version. But the good thing with the online version is that once you are able to establish that, you can play around with any system you come across. But this one is just here. And when you have both the online, like I have both the online and the desktop. So anywhere I put the online version, it's in sync. It's in communication with everything in my desktop. So whatever is in my desktop, any place I am at all making use of EndNote, it's automatically able to sync and give me information. So I can get the old information, I can still add to the new one. So if I wanted to cite this, I could just click EndNote desktop and it automatically goes online. It automatically goes. It allows you to sign in. A lot of you may not be able to access this at the moment, but this takes me, I was able to come here because I have a lot of extensions that allow my institution to be recognized. So when you get here, you set that up on your system. It's more, once you have done a lot of registrations on your system, it automatically recognizes that. What else? Drag and drop PDFs. So let's say what that does is this. Let's say we come here. Let's look for a new paper. Let's look for some new paper. Climate change impacts. Let's click on this new thing and let's download it. ResearchGate. No, we don't deal with ResearchGate. We don't do ResearchGate because ResearchGate, anybody can write anything and decide to post on ResearchGate. You can do your assignment and decide to go and post it on ResearchGate. It's not peer reviewed and also keep away from ResearchGate. If you find a work on ResearchGate, then look for the direct object identifier, which is the DOI. So the DOI is more like the online identity of your work. Any standard publication you make that is available online should have a direct object identifier. If it does not have it, just know that your work is not authentic. And any work you are referencing that is a standard academic literature should have a direct object identifier. So, okay, we have this work here. This is on National Library of Medicine, PubMed Central. If we click on Cite here, it allows us to why does this not allow us to? Let's see. So, like the DOI, look at this. This is the DOI, the direct object identifier. So with the direct object identifier, once you copy it and paste it to anywhere, it will take you directly to this paper. Let's download this for click and drop. Oh. So the title is 1682. We save it. Let's minimize this and come down to downloads here. And let's just copy and let's just copy and let's just copy and paste here. And this is our endnote. Let's just minimize our endnote halfway. I'm sure you all can see my screen. So let's say you have already downloaded PDFs and you have kept them somewhere. You have downloaded your PDFs and you have kept them somewhere. So all you need to do is for this, we say drag and drop PDFs in EndNote. You simply carry the work and drop here. No. This is showing for something else. Let me delete this. So once you click and drop, it will show you exporting or importing, and then it is automatically added. But here are some issues. it's added, but there are a lot of missing information. You see, it shows you that it's a journal type. It gives you the title as this. Now, in some cases, depending on how the PDF is formatted, this works successfully, but this has clearly not worked successfully. This has clearly not worked successfully. But remember, the option on this side here allows us to edit. So we can click on edit, put the author's name, put the year, put the title, put the journal, and all of those things. So alternatively, aside clicking, dragging, and dropping, if you come to this top part here, you see inside the citation for each selected reference, you have added a new reference to the selected group. Now this add new reference to the selected group, which is here. This plus sign here allows you to add reference manually. Now if you click on this side will be blank. Let's just click. We have clicked on it and it opens up a new side which I have enlarged and it brings us here. So all you can do is you can minimize, keep it by the side. You can minimize, keep it by the side. Open the downloaded document in question. Open the downloaded document in question and begin to fetch the information you need. So title, climate change in Europe, you copy it, you come to the year here. No, where is title? Sorry. You put title. Reference type is already showing journal, but there are different reference types here. We're using journal because it's actually a journal paper. It can be an interview, it can be a magazine, it can be online multimedia, it can be podcast, can be report, it can be anything. So just play around with it. One thing I advise is that feel free to play around with this EndNote. It does not spoil. Any application you have and you want to know about it, play around with it. Open things, turn it upside down. In the worst case scenario, it will not function properly at that time you want it to function. You can always delete it, uninstall it, and reinstall another version of it. But for every struggle you make, or for every wrong thing you do, it leads you to knowing it better, and that's the way to go about it. So play around with it, it no go spoil. Even if it spoil, we will still repair it. There will be a way to repair it. So now the reason why this didn't give us the right information we needed is because this is not looking like a standard journal paper. See, the year of publication. A standard journal paper is supposed to have a direct subject identifier, which we cannot find here. A year of publication, standardly, but this just looks like an extract. See, education and debate from elsewhere. But if we let's go and download another paper. Let's go and download another paper. One from a standard. Or let's say you could pick whatever information you need from here. You could pick whatever information you need from here and fill it in here. You have the names of the authors and you copy and you paste them here. Remember to take out the institution affiliations, which is by the small letters you find in front of the names. Now, the thing with EndNote is that you always have to put the last name and a comma after it. If you are putting it individually put a last name and a comma after it. And you can only separate names by having adding another line. Let it go to another line. Let it go to another line. And that's the only way the names will be separated in the right order. Year is 1999. Journal. All the journal details. British Medical Journal, BMJ. You copy and you paste. But see, guys, this EndNote is a whole entire thing. So, guys, you can save at this point in time. And do you want to save the changes you made to the reference? You click yes. And once you do that, you come here. Right there. Did I click on no or did I click on yes? Okay, here it is. It's added. Let's move. I hate to say that time is going, but time is going. EndNote click. EndNote click, there's a way to do that. Enter references manually. I've showed you how to do that. So yeah, we go back to our presentation here. Export versions, I've shown you these sites. Research information system, I've shown you that. Export into EndNote, I've shown you that as well. And I've shown you most of these things. Now, if we're to go back to my browser here, you will see that you'll see I have some extensions. I have some extensions to my right hand side here. This first extension says save to Zotero. This other extension here is what one is the EndNote extension. So to get the EndNote extension, you have to copy this. You have to copy this website. Where is our meeting? You have to copy that website. I've pasted it. I've just pasted that in the chat. You have to copy that website, and once you go there, it allows you to add the EndNote extension to your browser, such that when you go to a particular paper, like this one, you can simply click on the EndNote extension. And once you click on the EndNote extension, it allows you to view the PDF, download the PDF, or export PDF and reference as a research information system file, which will allow you to download it. So EndNote click has requested additional permissions. You click on allow. and then you click on it again, and you see it has allowed us to download it, and we can save it to EndNotes now. And if we come to EndNotes, we get to see it here. So different ways of playing around with it, different ways of playing around with it. So having the extension here also saves you a lot of stress, just different ways of playing around with the same thing. And so I've shown you that. I've shown you practically. I call it free to air because it allows you to add references seamlessly without issues. So like you saw it there, on my own, I had EndNotes. This is for EndNote. I had the other one that looked like Z, which is for Zotero. So you can use them either singly, depending on the one you want to use, or combine all of them. It doesn't affect it. Now, like I said before, the golden rule in referencing is that all cited references must be listed and all listed references must be cited. You already know that. In Heriot-Watt University, you have the Heriot-Watt cite them right style. So in Heriot-Watt, when they ask you to use Harvard style, don't go and use the general Harvard style. There's a cite them right online. When you come into school and on Canvas, or maybe subsequently after today, I'll share the link to download the Heriot-Watt Cite Them Right, the Harvard Heriot-Watt Cite Them Right style. So when writing in school here and they ask you to use Harvard, use the Heriot-Watt Harvard style. We had talked about plagiarism, and initially when we started building the context, and we are talking about to avoid plagiarism and misconduct. There are different forms of plagiarism. Direct plagiarism is where you lift somebody's work and claim it to be your own, or you don't properly acknowledge that person. Self-plagiarism is where work that you did, work submitted by you now produce something that is similar to that one. And even if it is you that did the first one, and it is still you that has done the second one. But they consider it self-plagiarism because it will come out high that this work has already been submitted. So no two of your works should be the same. I know this will get to play out when some of you will do maybe project proposal in the first semester or in one course, and then you are continuing with the same project topic, and you want to maintain the initial content of that. When you finally submit the final work, it's going to be the similarity index is going to be high. It will show you that that work has already been submitted by someone. So if you are continuing such work, you must improve on the content of the introduction and your literature review. It has to be different. They're expressing the same ideas, but the content has to be different. So always put that in mind when you are doing a work that you are doing one part in one semester and another part in another semester, or you have to submit half of the part in one time and then another in a different time. So the other one is mosaic plagiarism. That is where you carry somebody's work, and after carrying somebody's work, you know it is somebody's work, but you now begin to paraphrase. You carry work written by another person, and then you are intelligent enough to know synonyms and antonyms, and you now begin to paraphrase the work. It's mosaic plagiarism. That also pops up. The accidental plagiarism is where you may neglect doing one or two things, and at the end of the day, the work comes out as a resemblance of another. Now there's a slight, so when work is passed through Turnitin, the result that comes out as a similarity index, which is a score that shows how closely related your work matches with other people's works. Why plagiarism is when you use another person's work without representing or telling us where you got it, or carrying another person's work to be your own is also plagiarism. So the level of your similarity index determines whether your work will be considered as a plagiarized work or not. So common forms of plagiarism is where you copy word to word from the internet or all of those. You You paraphrase too closely, which is patch writing, as we discussed under mosaic plagiarism. Collusion, this is the collusion here is where you and two persons put heads together and then you come up with similar work. A and B submit work and then at the end of the day, the two works looks like they are the same. It's not accepted. Inaccurate citation and referencing, it also flags that failure to acknowledge assistance is also a problem. Use of material written by professional agencies or other people, also known as contract cheating. Now, contract cheating is where it's very prevalent from where we are coming from. Some people, they don't write their projects. They give other people, make they write down for them. That's contract cheating. It's not condoned here. Some people may still find their way around it, but just know your own. Self-plagiarism, also known as auto-plagiarism, we already talked about that. Now, in Heraclitus University, there's an assessment structure. And by the time you open your canvas, you get to see all of these things. You get to see your home, smart search, announcement, modules for the course, discussion, quizzes, assignment, grades, collaboration, and all. So, like I said from the beginning, even those with past degrees from Nigeria excel in the UK, it will be a walkover for me. It's a myth. That does not apply. The fact is that you work twice as hard as you worked in Nigeria to make a good grade here in Heraclitus University. Now, by the time you open your coursework, you are going to see all of these things. You see undated assignments, frequently asked FOI marks, course work marks. You see declaration of authorship, very important. It states that all the works you are doing is yours and originally yours, and you didn't copy from anywhere. At the beginning of the semester, for most of the courses, they will tell you the structure of the assessment and the day you are going to submit it. So from the first day you resume, you know how many assessments you have in that course, you know the type of assessment, and you already know the date of submission. For some of those courses, from day one that you resume, the lecturer send you the entire thing and tell you that you are doing 3 assessments. The assessment is in week 1, week 3, week 9, and these are the due dates for submission, and this is the time for submission. You can see when we resume for this semester, the report submission was 6 December, and it was due by 11:59 p.m. You had the peer review form, also had to be submitted on the 6th of December. Presentation submission was 25th of November. All of this information are made available. All the tests, due date, everything, so you know exactly what you are facing from. It's not a war zone where you don't show your enemy your tactics. Over here, they tell you what to expect. You get prepared for it good enough. So if you are meticulous and strategic, you'll be sure you are going to excel. Now, when you do your submission, it's always important to view your submission window. Now you see in this submission window here, I have 3 attempts. You don't need a special place to go and look for your Turnitin results. On most of the submission windows, you have your Turnitin results shown to you. Now, the very one to my left here shows that there are only 3 attempts allowed for this work. So I submit, after I finish writing the work, I submit the first one to check my level of plagiarism to see if this thing here is showing green. See, the one on the left is showing green. The one on the right here is showing the color is no longer green. It's going from green to, the women will know this color better. Men will know sabi color. They will know. Maybe this is alligator something. So it's showing 11%. 3 attempts allowed. It means the last copy, the latest copy you submit is the one that gets to be seen by the lecturer and that is assessed. So I submit the first one. I can submit the second one. Once I submit the second one, it automatically replaces the first one. Once I submit the third one, it automatically replaces the second one. So, like for this one, 3 attempts, I submitted on my first attempt and I didn't add another one. Why? The content was okay. and the plagiarism, the similarity index stood at 11%, which showed green, good enough. Now you come to this other one, and it shows that I had unlimited attempts allowed. It means this one you can submit 100 versions, but it is the latest version you submit that will be taken into consideration. Unlimited attempts allowed. I submitted on the third attempt. It was fine at 36%, and I left it at that. Now you come down here, you see what you call marking rubrics. And part of this marking rubrics for an assessment was methodologies, was carrying 5.5 marks, logical progression and logical progression and argument was carrying 5.5 marks, report structure 5.5, length 5.5, originality 5.5, presentation quality 5.5, referencing and bibliography that we have been talking about 5.5. So you are going to be assessed. This is how critical and thorough your work is going to be assessed at the end of the day. Which I don't go press now. So here you have for old students, for students who have been here, I can see some of you have joined and are still here. Where is people? Okay, I can see Ini is here, Nefisa is here, Mayowa is here. Now you guys, you have to go back to your Turnitin and see that your Turnitin result output has changed. This interface is different from the former interface. This here shows you what the former interface used to look like. This is what the former interface used to look like. But at the moment, this is what the interface looks like. This is different, slightly modified from what used to be. And for those of you who will be resuming much later, I don't need to dwell on what the old used to be because you won't see it at all. This is only what you are going to see, the new format. So this is a typical Turnitin output. This shows you that overall, this entire work is 11% overall similarity. With filters applied, it shows you the publications, the list of publications with a coding system. You see, one, you can't see one here because of how small the work is. You see two appears to show some words that have been highlighted with 2 on this side, on the left-hand side, matching with the number 2 on this other side. The Turnitin report, if you lied in the work, the number of words, the Turnitin report is going to show you the number of words. It shows page 1 of 15, meaning the work is 15 pages and has 3,523 words. So if you lied about the number of words, Turnitin will expose you. Now, this is Turnitin is the application or software that is used to check similarity index. It shows you how similar your work is with the works of other persons online. And so far, this work here, from the submission window here, it already shows you that overall, this is 11%. This is 36%. So if I were to go to a particular work and click on this 11%, this is the next environment it's going to bring me to. And this is what I'm going to see on the interface right in your canvas. You don't need a special application for this. Ones on your canvas, which you all will have to be enrolled on when you resume here. For those who are already here, you're already on your canvas. It will bring you here and you have 11% overall similarity index with numbers attached. If I were to click on any of those numbers, or before you click on those numbers, here, the yellow part, the blue part is showing sources. If you have to click on match groups on this other side, it brings you here. So when you click on the match groups, what are you going to see? You are going to see 13 not cited or quoted. It means from the database of Turnitin, from Turnitin database, comparing its work to here, it means that 13 authors or 13 different sources from Turnitin were not quoted in my work. 17 of those are missing. If you add 17 plus 13, it gives you 30. And this 30 is showing here. How do I increase this? Laser pointer. The demonstration before the cursor isn't visible sometimes. Okay. So before, what I showed you was sources. Now I said if you come to matching groups, you are going to see these 30 matches found with Turnitin's database. So 13 were not cited or quoted. 17 are missing. You have 0 missing citations or 0 quoted text. And just to show you this, you really don't have a concern with this. You really don't have a concern with that. What is important for you to note is that when you have this, when you move from clicking on 11% here, because if you click on 11%, it automatically takes you to this window. And what is important for you to know is that the filters. The filters were being displayed. If you click on filters from the previous window, if you click on filters, it brings you here and shows you exclude bibliography, exclude quoted text, exclude cited text, exclude small matches. You don't touch these other ones that are not highlighted. You simply click on exclude bibliography and exclude quoted text, and then you click on apply filters. When you do that, is when you have 11%. The current window shows you that exclude bibliography and exclude quoted texts were considered or are actively on, and that is why you have 11%. Now, the result when you don't exclude bibliography and exclude quoted texts is this. It's the same work, but we didn't apply the filters of exclude bibliography and exclude quoted text. Overall similarity index at this point is showing us 38% overall similarity. So some lecturers know how to set this up such that it automatically excludes bibliography and quoted text and shows you as low as 11%, but some it does not. So anytime you see a particular similarity index, go and ensure the right filters are in place. If they are not in place, put them and check the actual score. But never you consider it with bibliography and quoted text, because you cannot change your list of references. It's the same thing everywhere. You cannot change your quoted text. It's the same thing. Isaac Newton said, if I have seen any further, it is by standing on the shoulders of giants. You cannot go and change the language. Don't go and change it to anything. If it is a quoted text, it has to be like that. So quoted text and bibliography are always excluded to get the actual similarity indexed. So acceptable components of your work that are allowed are not considered plagiarism are quotations, references and bibliography, matching formats, tables and charts, appendices, small matches, and paraphrasing. Now, when you have an output of 11%, you have these various color text here and these numbers by the side. If you decide to click on one, by your left hand side here, it automatically highlights on the left hand side parts of the work of this one that is in your work. So it shows you that this one, which is highlighted in bold, the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, estimates that that is a part it has picked that is similar to another person's work. And then it highlights in the person's work here. You're able to see it in the person's work here that, okay, this is the part it has taken that from. So that is what it does. So this enables you to go and correct part by part. So now it says food waste presents a significant global challenge. Let's look at this. Say food waste presents a significant global challenge with approximately that is from one person's work. So you can go and change that grammar now. If you change the grammar, go to these other parts, change all the highlighted part that is colored. Those are the parts you need to go and correct. Those are the parts that resembles another person's work. So that's the part you need to go and change. Change and change and change and change. Paraphrase it, restructure it to beat down the similarity index score. If you do that, now you have unlimited chances. You go back and update again. You go back, resubmit the assignment and see if the similarity index has come down or gone up. Before now, this is what used to be on display. You have matching index of 9%. You have this other one, 21%. This other one is 14%, 14%. This other one is 100%. Now, lecturers determine plagiarism. Your similarity index report determines if your work is going to be considered plagiarized or not, depending on different criteria. Now, 9% is generally good. 9% is generally good with small figures attached to people's work. But take for instance, if this 9%, this is scattered between 3%, 2%, 1%, 1%, that is good enough. But let's say you come to a work like this 21% now, and you look at it that 13% is just from one person's work. It means there's a problem. The entire 13% is from one person's work. It means you simply went and copied that section and dumped in your work. That is a problem. That somebody is going to flag you down. But if you look at this 9%, 3, 2, 1, 1, 1, you can easily let it go. But 13% means from just this, you relied more on this person's work to build your work than any other person's work. So even if you properly reference this person, your lecturer is still not going to be okay with it because you heavily relied on just one material. This other one is 100% match. It means you didn't even do anything. You just carried somebody's work and presented it as your own. Now, look at this color coding. The color coding is blue. Blue means no matching text. Green says one word to 24% matching text. Yellow shows 25%, 49% matching text. Orange shows 50% to 24% matching text. Red shows this. This color coding, I know you'll be asking where it applies. Let me take you back to somewhere. You see, this was my submission window, and it shows 11%. You see, there's a color here, green. So if you go back to that chart, you understand what green means. You see this color here, and you go back to the chart, you understand what it means and why it is important. You understand, what is it? Why is it important you understand the colors? So here is a submission. Here is a particular window for a particular course I had some assessments in. They turn it in, displayed here as green, which is good. Green, which is good. Here it showed red, meaning the plagiarism, meaning that the similarity index in this third work was very high. So I know a lot of you would have, who are already students and who will come here in time to come, you will realize that you have your score from different assessments. Here 72 over 100, here 83 over 100, here 83 over 100. You now come down to the overall score here and you're having 79.33%. Plus 83 plus. So sometimes here it is over 100. So if you do 72 plus 83 plus 83 divided by 3, you are going to get 79.33, which is straightforward. But in some cases, you may have 72 over, let's say 72, or let's say this is over 50. So let's say you have 32 over 50, 83 over 100, 83 over 100. If you now calculate the individual sum and divide by 3, you won't be getting the correct total value here. So here you have 100. If you add up this, you get 238. You add up 100, 100, 100, you get 300. So if you do 238 over 100 as a fraction, as a percentage, you're going to get 79.33. Why? Because of the common denominator. But if the denominator here was different, they have to add up the denominators and add up the numerators, and then you find their percentage to get your total score here. So guys, even those who don't like mathematics, I need us to do a quick exercise. Now, for this first score here, let me make that big. Now, let's say this first score here is 32 over 50. If this was 32 over 50, and this is 83 over 100, 83 over 100, what will be the final score here? For me to be sure you all will know how to calculate these. A lot of persons have had to write emails to professors or lecturers asking them why the final grade is quite different from what they were considering and all. So if this was 32 over 50, if this was 32 over 50, 83 over 100, 83 over 100, what would be the final percentage here? Can you guys solve and give me an answer? I'm looking at the chat box for, okay, 32 plus 3, 83, 198. Yeah. Should I put a price tag to this? Let's say the first correct answer. How many pounds should I give out? Let's do £5. Let's do £5. So the first correct answer will get £5. If I'm the one that gets the correct answer, I'll keep it to myself. So I guess you all have given your answers. Am I expecting any new answers? So I said if you have 32 over 50, 83 over 100, 83 over 100, what will be your final percentage here? Recognize the difference that this is 50. So if the first one is 50, it means the denominator there is different. So what you are going to have will be 50 plus 100 plus 100. What you have, your denominator is going to be 250. So you're going to have 250 down here instead of 300. You add up 32 plus 83 plus 83, you get 198. Find the percentage of that. So it's going to be 198 divided by 250. That'll give you 79.2, 0.792. You multiply it by 100. And your final score is 79.2%. Virginia, you think say you sabi do wayo abi? You give multiple answers. You give 230, you now give 79.2%. Yeah, nothing for you. Nothing for you. Nothing for you. We move. The correct answer is 79.2%. So that's how you calculate your assessment here. And you look at the entire grading and then so that you don't write unnecessary emails. And over here, it's not like the Nigerian system where you cannot speak to your lecturers, no. If you have any issue, you were not assessed correctly, you felt you were right, you have any grievances, send email. Don't keep quiet, please. Here, speak freely is a free word. Ask questions as you want to, as much as you want to ask. If you have grievances, write emails. There are systems and structures in place that protect you and ensure that you have a voice as a student. So here is not a place where you come and you keep quiet. If you're not sure of what you need to do, speak to somebody who has been here before you and let them give you the right guidance. But don't come here and keep to yourself, please. Information, access to the right information here, the right information will make you excel, the wrong information or absence of information entirely will make you fail. Now, here is a work that was 80% overall similarity index. Red, this is a no-go area, but this was accepted because this was a presentation. This was a presentation, and so we had already submitted the main work, which had a very low similarity index. But this was a presentation, so the presentation cannot be anyhow different from the main work. So this was not considered, but you have to watch out. If this was the main work and it came out as 80, it would not have been accepted. But since it was a presentation, which is an extract of the main work, this was accepted. So you have to look out for this. Next, we move on to the use of artificial intelligence in student research. Now, you already know what research is because you have been carrying out research. You're already a student. The only new things here are artificial intelligence tools, which you have already been making use of them. ChatGPT is one of those. So different segments: planning, research, information discovery, and deepening understanding. So when it comes to planning research are those ones that are very interactional, where you give them prompts. What is climate change? It will give you all the results. It will write all the things it can write about climate change. Remember, ChatGPT, like every electronic, it resembles electronic systems. It's garbage in, garbage out. The result it will give you is highly dependent on the amount of prompts you feed into the system. So the richer your prompt, the more robust the result is going to give you. So those interactional ones that give structure to your work, explain concepts to you, are the planning research tools. And you have ChatGPT, you have the paid version of it and the unpaid version. The difference is that the paid version allows you unlimited number of prompts and responses. Excuse me. While the unpaid version only allows you some limited prompts and then you can use it again for a period of time until that time elapses You have cloud, you have Microsoft Copilot, which you have on almost every gadget right now. You have Google Gemini, which used to be known as, is it Badu or Bibadi or Bad in time past. Now they are competing. The free version of Google Gemini is as good as ChatGPT, the paid version. And the good thing is you can upload entire documents, you can upload entire reports and ask you to summarize it or ask you to make modifications or make certain findings or adapt the writing to suit you. Also, you can take for instance on ChatGPT, you can upload 10 journal papers. Maybe you're having a lot of publications, you don't know how to summarize them and critically analyze them. You can upload all 10 of those documents to ChatGPT and tell it to critically analyze and summarize all of those things and give you, and it will do that. And you use it for planning and structuring. Then there are those information discovery ones. Remember that when ChatGPT and all the rest, when the planning research AI tools give you information, not everything it tells you is correct. Not every reference it gives you are real references or factual things. You need to verify those things. So when you copy sections of that work and paste in the information discovery AI tools, they find and link you up to actual works that you can verify from. You have consensus elicits, SciSpace, Semantic Scholar, and Research Rabbit. Very useful tools. You copy and you paste into them. They give you the information you need. They link you straight to the journal paper, verifiable. So you click. When it takes you to those journal papers, they have the direct object identifier, they have the links to the paper, they have the title and the author's name and the year of publication. You can copy any of those details to go to the exact place and copy and bring the details to your reference management tool. So that your work is true. So when you now get access to the main work, read the work to verify if the information that work has given you is true of what the planning research AI gave you or not. If it is not okay, then you read through that work and you update the whatever information it gave you. The good thing with AI is that what would have been a manual or redundant or slow process for you, it hastens or speeds up the process for you by giving you structure. Structure that you'd have maybe found or discovered for yourself after reading 4 or 5 articles. ChatGPT gives it to you in just about a minute. Shortcut. It saves you time, stress, and reading. But it gives you information. You need to verify that information. The information discovery platforms take you directly to where the information is and the source. You get it from there. You bring it into the work. Your time is saved. It catalyzes your work. Then at the end of the day, when you have put the right structure, the right content with verifiable sources, you now come to the deepening understanding AI tools. And these ones further shaping your work. They check the grammar. You can use them to paraphrase. You can use them to further expatiate or humanize whatever text it has given you and all of those things. And then you have the likes of the Copilot, Grammarly, Quillbot, Notebook LM, Scholastic, and Immersive Reader. All of them, they all have free versions. Just need to go there, register on them. And I will always suggest don't depend on only one tool. Use more than one of these tools. I use ChatGPT and Gemini. I use Research Rabbit and Elicits for my work. I also have SciSpace. SciSpace is automatically I have it as an extension. So I use 3 of the information discovery, and I use Grammarly and Quillbot. I use the 2 of them, and little of Notebook LM. All of these things, they help you build a stronger version for your work. They help you, but it does not take the place of knowing how to do it. If you it's more like you need to naturally know how to use a gun to be able to go out for robbery. If not, If you are not a good thief, they still give you the gun. They will still catch you. They will still shoot you and all of those things. So you need to naturally know upstairs what you want to do, what is supposed to be the outcome of your research before you employ these tools. The use of these tools only catalyze your process of carrying out the work. They don't replace your creativity in the work. They don't replace that natural element of your intelligence in the work. So when a smart person uses AI to write, it's different because all of us, let's say we're in a class now, all of us will use AI to write, but we are not going to get the same marks. What makes the difference in the marks is your application of your human intelligence to that work. So this does not replace human intelligence. So do your background work, do your reading, do your studies is important. I won't fail to recognize the risks and challenges of AI tools and plagiarism and over-reliance because they give an assessment and a writing an assessment for an essay, and more than 50% are using AI. The same paid version, the same ChatGPT, the same Gemini the is the go-to guy that we're asking the same questions, and maybe we are giving the same level of prompt. So at the end of the day, the answers it will give us will most likely be the same. Maybe the difference in the answers will be because I have a knack for giving it better prompts or have better trained mind, and you have not properly trained your own, so it's giving you limited results and all of that. Maybe I have a good structure for my work. Maybe I already know that the UK system in writing, your work must have images, must have images. There must be statistics in your work. You must have one or two tables in your work. You must have case studies in your work, real life case studies that exemplify the concepts or things you are talking about. And before writing, I have these 4 elements in that I know must be included in the work. But the input we are getting from AI is practically the same. Maybe the difference in what brings the marks is because of that intelligence. I know that I'm supposed to have pictorial representation, I'm supposed to have tables, I'm supposed to have statistics, I'm supposed to have case studies in my work. And believe me, you cannot write a work here as an assessment and submit and you no get tables, you no get pictures. There are no case studies. There are no statistics. Then tell me, what exactly are you writing about? What they'll simply tell you is that your work was boring to read. And even you will know that your work is boring to read because from A to Z, you just have lines, 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 lines. It's the same lines, lines, lines that we know they ever like. We never liked it when reading our literature, our lecture materials from Nigeria. They write, 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 write. There are no images to interact with. There are no figures or statistics to hold on to. There are no tables that show relationship or comparison between concepts and all of those things. Then what exactly are you doing? So you must infuse these elements in your work. And ChatGPT or the AI tools will not always be blessed with that level of intelligence. It's for you to creatively tell it, I need statistics to back up this. I need real life examples or case studies to embellish what I am writing. And sometimes it cannot supply you with those things. So when you now go to the information discovery AI tools, you now open those works, those journal papers, and now begin to look, where can you see statistics? Where can you see images that demonstrate what you're talking about? Where can you see tables that give comparison between the statistics that is drawing out from all of these things? You now pick it from there. And that is why I say, no matter how well you use AI tools, they only help boost or improve on your natural ability to learn, think, and infuse creativity in your writing. Total dependence on them means you are going to come out a failure. Like I said earlier, most of their references are hallucinated or fabricated references, and that's why you need another AI to go and extract the real references and send to you. And you don't just take the references as fabricated, ensure you go and find out exactly where you can get them from. Ethical boundaries of AI use. Here in Heriot University, in other universities, as the similarity index is coming out, you're also having the AI similarity index coming out to show you how much of AI generated text is present in your work. But the Heriot University does not have that policy to that level yet. So they only encourage the use of AI tools to a certain level of which they request of you to make references, but please don't. Ensure as much as you can that you add your own human intelligence into the work and it becomes yours entirely. Let ChatGPT serve as a guide. You do the working. It's more like the torchlight. It points you in the direction. You simply do the work the work. Discernment is it's a knowledge. Wisdom is not without any data. Anyhow, just know what you have to do and do it correctly. Don't just be guided blindly by AI because it will give you ambiguous feedback. Sometimes it's giving you something correct. Sentence 1 is correct, sentence 2 is correct. Then introduces an extraneous concept in sentence number 3, of which if you're not intelligent enough to read through, you are not going to know that that statement number 3 cannot feature in what you are writing because it is entirely off. So be painstaking, be meticulous in your work. And there are a lot of talk about the use of AI and all. And most of those instructions are given in your course outline. Read them and be sure of what they are telling you to do and ensure you do it. If not, you're on your own. The benefits, I cannot overemphasize or begin to talk about them because you already know. They help you to summarize information, like I said. If you have 10, ChatGPT allows you to upload just 10. I don't know if others will allow you to upload more, but for now, it's just 10. And the thing, there's a higher version of ChatGPT that's more expensive than the usual one. I've forgotten the name, but man, that one is on fire. You spend quite a lot of money to do it, but when you're on that one, you're on another level. I think that one will allow you to upload more than 10. But currently, the paid version you have, and this is it. Instead of one person buying your chats, going to go and subscribe if the money is heavy, 3 or 4 of you can contribute funds when you're here and make the subscription and have the login details shared amongst yourself and you use it to work. That helps you to save and consolidate on the community better. So you can upload 10 journal papers and ask you to summarize it using a central team, critically state the arguments, and it will do all of those things depending on the level of prompt. Helps you to brainstorm. You have the language support, generating ideas and overcoming writer's block, structuring written work or presentation. Sometimes you can even copy your rubric and send it to ChatGPT and ask it to, based on the rubric that has been given, it should generate a structure that ensures that every item in the rubric is attended to, and it does that. And you're able to build on that and create a solid work. It also helps some of our guys, those in software engineering, robotics, and the rest, helps you to build your codes. But if you do not know the basic structure of the programming language and you just delve into it, you're on your own because sometimes it will not function. Sometimes no matter how you do it, the code does not work. And then transcribing spoken word and describing the content of images. Of course, you can ask it to generate images. You can send in images and ask it to tell you what is expected. So, and all of that. Always evaluate the output from AI tools for accuracy and bias. And read each assignment carefully for any direction on using AI. Acknowledge the references where AI content has been used if it is a must, please. But never believe anything that AI tools generate. Never submit unacknowledged AI generated or edited text in assessed work. Always use your own words. Never enter personal or sensitive information on AI tools. Why? Because your data protection right is not guaranteed. You are giving it freely, but remember that when you sign up for any of these AI tools and their use of them, you don't really go into any contract that says this is how the data you're supplying is going to be used, so you have to be careful. Like I said earlier, evaluate the content and cross-check it with trusted academic sources. Content may not be accurate. Why? Because ChatGPT usually gives you, is a probability type thing. How the results of ChatGPT comes is that the ChatGPT, like every other artificial intelligence tool, has been trained based on data that has been supplied to it. So it gives you the highest form of probability based on the input you are giving to it. So it's not always accurate. So you have the responsibility of looking for sources that are accurate, current and objective, relevant, and that are named that you can verify from. At the end of the day, in Herod's integrity is non-negotiable. By referencing protects both students and work, AI is powerful, but must be used responsibly. And you have a lot of resources that are available to support you, from the library to student services and all of those things. And you have us here as a community. We also make up the Herald's resources to give you the necessary support that you need. This presentation, I see, makes up just about 25% of what could have been delivered. Last semester, we had 2 physical in-class presentations just to cover up on this, but for the essence of, but most of those presentations were made after students resumed here. I think it's the first time we're having a presentation when a lot of persons are still in Nigeria. It means you have a better off-take ground compared to other students. It is expected that you perform far better than us by the time you come here. Why? Because you have better information, you know the expectation, you have insights that others never had before leaving the shores of Nigeria, and you know better how to prepare yourself. So thank you for listening. I will take questions now. You can